This was touched on briefly earlier, so we're going to expand on it a little bit more. What are some of the certifications for your company that you recommend that would make the procurement process easier?
Well, for me, that's an easy one. We are going through high trust, and I feel like that's become not really an option for my little world. It's really a requirement. For me, being able to go in with that overcomes so many hurdles. And it speeds up the sales process tremendously. Yeah, that's really the one for me, and I'm working with Mazars on that, so it's been working out really well.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. For GetSetUp, even though we're not 100% in the healthcare space, we know that to be there, we believe that high trust is going to be key for us. So we're actually working with Mazars and going through that process of getting high trust certification as well.
The things that seem to be sort of table stakes for a lot of these contracts now are high trust, and then the insurance coverages that come along with it, and they tend to be going up every year. So, cyber and E&O, we've seen 10 million per occurrence in an aggregate, which is a huge amount of insurance coverage for especially a small company. See a lot of head nods there.
Yeah, it's such cyber insurance is everyone's struggling with that. And the prices, but what I've been seeing with high trust too is it used to be just contracting with managed care. It started off as something, if you're contracting with the largest managed care organizations, the 9 from the High Trust Alliance, United, Anthem, and of that ilk, you needed your high trust certification. Speed up now, mid-sized plans that aren't even a part of the High Trust Alliance are requiring all their vendors to be high trust certified that store PHI, to even local plans requiring it. And then this year, what we're seeing now too is hospitals are requiring their vendors who have PHI, or many hospitals. I can't say it's not as across the board as the managed care, but we're seeing high trust now go into the hospital and health system space as well for their vendors. So I agree with you. It's going to become the standard for 2 reasons. That United States healthcare is continually attacked by cyber criminals. It's just it's the largest industry, coupled with the fact that compared with other countries, the HIPAA bar is pretty low. So being HIPAA compliant is just not enough anymore. And I think the free market is really just high trust is becoming more and more the norm.
Yeah.
And this is Faith with Mazars. I mean, the same thing is going as we're seeing in the industry with NCQA accreditation, right? As we had talked about, and Gary had alluded to it earlier, just with the accreditation really distinguishing one organization from another as best in class. I mean, just recently in California, AB 133 was passed for January 1st for 2026, where health plans and their subcontractors will require that NCQA accreditation. I mean, it's essentially the gold standard, right? And for Medicaid, there's about 26 or so plus states that are requiring it. Commercial, 33 and plus, and so it's becoming the norm.
Interesting.
Where does with some of the states working with state RFPs, there are extra points given on the scoring of an RFP if you are a minority-owned, woman-owned, or veteran-owned small business. And I would assume that many of our members constitute small businesses. But to the extent you have an opportunity to be certified in a specific state or states to be that, makes sense as well. Because I agree with Justin. I think that to get to the table, you're going to need to have high trust certification, et cetera. And that's just going to be the cost of admission. I think some of the differentiators are some of these other attributes as well.
Yeah, exactly, Barry. And I was Jeanette from McClennan Group. I was just going to chime in that Christine and I are both WeBank certified. Yep. So female-run businesses, right, Christine? I'm seeing her nod her head. So it definitely helps as a differentiator.
And to echo what you said, Justin and Faith on the NCQA, in addition to that, for us, Barry, too, it's all of our credentials around our certifications on auditing and coding, both our doctors, our nurses, and our certified coders who are known in the industry as experts in their field. All of that matters when we go and place our bids out there.
Yep.
This is
Yes,
Kurt.
the alphabet matters. Sorry.
This is Kurt from Calibrated Healthcare. We're an MSO. And in our presentation to a new client, we actually have a slide where we try to throw out as many known auditors of the company as possible. So we use Deloitte Touche for SOC 1 and SOC 2, moving towards high trust down the road, and probably will use Mazars. But then we use KPMG to do the background checks on employees, especially, we have to have credentialed nurses. And so we have KPMG on the slide. We have Ernst & Young as our financial auditor. And then we even had DMHC come out and did a review of our security and offshore services. And so we have that on the slide. So anything we could put on that slide to get them comfortable with a small to mid-sized company. Those are some of the things that we include.